Alright, so what's going on, guys? My name's Chopper, and welcome everybody back to a brand new video. What I have for you today is going to be the top 5 best high round strategies in Call of Duty Zombies. So essentially what this is going to be is I thought about every single zombies map that I play high rounds on and, you know, its strategy for that map, and I just kind of broke this down into my favorite strategies to run, the one that I think are the best designed, the most fun to play, the best executed, everything like that. All of those were factors and components into my decision making here, and I'm going to show you guys those today. But I want you guys to let me know in the comment section, what is your favorite map and favorite high round strategy to play? It can be any map and any strategy that you like. And also, if you guys could do me a really huge favor before the video gets started and leave a like on it, that would be awesome. It literally takes 2 seconds of your time. It helps me out greatly. I would appreciate that a lot. And then definitely subscribe if you are new to the channel for more zombies content. I'll have plenty of zombies content coming out up into the release of Black Ops 4. And then, of course, we're going to go really heavy with that as well. But anyways, guys, all that being said, let's get into this list of the top 5 best high round strategies in Call of Duty Zombies. So coming in at my number 5 spot, I'm going to give this one to Ascension. Now, this is probably the only what you could consider easy or, you know, casual high rounds map, because what you're going to notice is the rest of these maps that we have on the list are going to be the traditionally what are considered harder ones, because I feel like those are more fun to play, at least me personally. The way I like to play high rounds is I like, you know, very fast-paced, aggressive gameplay where you have to constantly be moving, always on your feet, and making quick decisions. That's where I get the most fun in zombies out of, and Ascension is like the very basic stepping stone of getting to that sort of play style, right? It's very casual, it's very relaxed, but it isn't so relaxed that you don't have to do anything. You still need to be moving, and you still need to be thinking quickly as well. So what you're watching right now is just the Ascension spawn room strat, and you can run this on both the Black Ops 3 version of Ascension and the Black Ops 1. However, they run a little bit differently because, of course, in Black Ops 3 we have alternate ammo types, so you can run your Deadwire and you're turned on your RK5 and Shiva, as they're both wall buys in this room. However, on Black Ops 1 you still have wall buys there, but since you can't put on alternate ammo types, you really just use it to point farm and then go ahead and run traps. So the strat is much slower than it is on BO3, but it can still be done regardless of what game you're playing it on. The strategy never expires, meaning you can run it the same way on round 1 to 255, you know what I mean? You can completely max out in this strat if given the correct amount of time, of course, but I like the Ascension spawn room strat quite a lot because it's still very fast paced and it's able to keep me engaged. However, it's one of the more casual ones where I can sit back, relax, and like if I'm streaming, I can talk to my chat, whatever, and it's not that big of a deal. And if you're trying to get into more serious high rounds, I would recommend to probably start with Ascension. As I said before, it's a really good stepping stone of sort of getting into that kind of thing. As for setting up in this strat, the only thing I recommend is you have your RK5 and Shiva, and you can put Deadwire turned on either or. It doesn't really matter as the wall buys are pretty close, but I prefer Deadwire in my burst weapons. I don't know, it's just kind of a personal thing. And then you're also going to want Gersh devices as your tactical slot. And other than that, if you're just playing with classic gumballs, you know, in plain sight and an alchemical are really good for the thunder gun. And if you're playing online, you can run pretty much whatever you want. But this is such a good stepping stone map, I can't stress enough, to get into high rounds, and that's why it has to take my number 5 spot on this list. So coming in at the number 4 spot, I'm going to give this one to the ShanggriLa baby gun strat. Now, when you guys are watching this gameplay, I want you to really pay attention because you might not see it or be able to pick up on it unless you're playing it, but this is such a unique strategy because of its timing. There are certain times when you should sprint, certain times when you need to just go for a slow walk, especially up this hill here, and it's very meticulous, and if you make any mistake, you can get cornered and die really quick. But once you get into a sort of a muscle memory with it, it actually runs pretty smoothly. So in terms of setting this up, you're going to want the baby gun and also a ray gun or some kind of other splash damage explosive, because what happens is when you shoot any sort of zombies with the baby gun, and if you're able to get an entire horde in this strat, they all become small and then they all go down to like 1 health, so you can blow them up with anything, and the splash damage is incredible for it. So you have to risk running into them and maybe getting it down or taking some hit that you could end up dying from. And then once you've cleared that horde, go back down to this middle section and wait just half a second before going through again so that you get the spawns, and then you just go run this entire path that you just did. Now, everything about the timing is so important, I can't stress that enough. If you guys want to jump on Shang and give it a try, you'll find that it's a little hard to pick up the rhythm, but once you get into it, it is so rewarding, and this is probably one of the most fun strategies that I like to play as well. Also, something that's really important is don't run Widow's Wine. If you're playing offline, if you're playing local, then just don't buy it. If you're playing online, you have a perkaholic, just make sure you get into the habit of throwing away your Widow's Wine grenades at the start of every round or whenever you get a max ammo, because like I said, if you hit the Widow's Wine somewhere down during that path, it's going to screw the entire timing up of that whole horde, and it's just going to be trouble for you. So get rid of Widow's Wine and you should be okay. But don't feel bad if you start playing this strat and you're struggling a little bit, because this is a very difficult map. I would say the community community would put ShanggriLa as one of the hardest maps, if not the hardest map in Call of Duty Zombies. And if you're not, if you don't have this perfected or down to a T, you're probably gonna have a few bumps in the road, but don't feel bad at all because Shang is very, very difficult. It also can be ran the same way in both Black Ops 1 and 3, so whatever version of the map you decide to play, you can still run the strat and it's going to work exactly the same as the other game. So whatever you decide to do, if you practice some Shang, you'll find that it's a very, very rewarding high rounds experience. But anyways, that's why ShanggriLa had to take my number 4 spot. I just have such a soft spot for this map, and I don't know what it is, but I love it so much, and I encourage all of you guys to at least try this out and see how you like it too, because you might surprise yourself. But that's why it's taking my number 4 spot, and coming in at my number 3 spot is a little bit of a throwback. This one's got to go to my boy Mob of the Dead, the classic acid trap strat. Now, Mob of the Dead is considered by a lot of people probably one of the harder high rounds maps, as you don't really have a lot of room to breathe. It's a very cluttered and close quarters map, just like ShanggriLa that we were talking about earlier, but that's not to say that you still can't play high rounds in this map. Fun fact, this was the 3rd map ever in my history that I got round 100 on. It was Mob of the Dead using this exact same strategy that you're watching right now. It's very easy to set up, and it's actually not as intimidating as it looks. The only thing you need is the Vitrolic Withering upgraded, so basically the Acid Gap Pack-a-Punch, and then an unupgraded MP5. Reason for that being it's your wall buy right outside where the trap is, and it's a very, very good point farming gun. The thing is, if you Pack-a-Punch it, you're going to be losing some money on points, as it is 4,500 to get upgraded ammo, so you might as well just stick with the non-pack-a-punched one, and it's only 500 pop, so you'll be able to build a lot of points and just keep running this acid trap back and forth every single time, and it's a very quick cooldown as well, so you don't have to worry about waiting on it too long. I would say that this is one of the slower maps in Black Ops 2 Zombies, definitely much slower than something like Die, Rise, or Buried, which are pretty much constant spawning, and you can sit in one place to kill zombies. However, Mob of the Dead's different. It's slower, but it's not painfully slow where it's just boring to play. In fact, it's probably one of the most fun high round strategies in Black Ops 2 in my opinion as well. So I recommend, if you guys have Mob of the Dead, Xbox 360, PS3, or even PC, what I'm playing on right now, definitely go give this a try and see for yourself how much you enjoy it. But that is why the Mob of the Dead Acid Trap strat has to take my number 3 spot on this list. It's just an absolute classic. You can't beat Mob of the Dead. It is amazing. But anyways, coming in at our number 2 spot, I'm going to have to give this one to the spawn room strat on the Giant. Now, unfortunately, back in Black Ops 1 on Derice, you cannot run this current strat that I'm doing on BO1. It just doesn't work the same way. There is another high round strat on there, but it's much slower, and I don't think it's as fun to play just personally either. But anyways, the way you set this one up is you keep the door on the right shut, and then you open the door on the left, and that's basically how you get through the map. And the zombies, as long as you don't go up on the upper platform, will only spawn in this certain, like, very connected spawn area right here, and it's pretty contained, so you don't have to worry about them coming in from behind you. And you use this whole area that you have and just completely abuse your alternate ammo types. Speaking of which, you're going to want to run the RK5 with Deadwire. This is what I prefer anyway, and then an HVK with Blast Furnace and an upgraded Wunderwaffe. Now, you can substitute the HVK for the Shiva if you want. However, you'll be buying ammo more often if you go with the Shiva, because the HVK holds basically more ammo, so you'll be taking less trips, but it's a little bit farther away as a wall buy, so it's kind of upstairs, a little bit out of the way, a little inconvenient, but it's really just personal preference at the end of the day. You can also substitute Blast Furnace for Turned. However, I just feel like it kind of throws off my rhythm, so it's really up to you. It doesn't matter either way. You can run Turned or Blast Furnace, but Deadwire and your Wunderwaffe here are going to be your best friends. Now, the reason why the Giant is one of the hardest maps in BO3 is because you have absolutely no Widow's Wine, no Electric Cherry, and no Zombie Shield. It's a very bare bones feeling map. But that is exactly why I love it so much, because it's a map that requires you to constantly be playing fast, and if you lose focus at all, there's a good chance that you're going to end up downing. It can be a challenge to anybody. Brand new Zombies players who have never picked up the game before can jump on the Giant, and it's still going to be tough, and even veterans can have this, a little bit of a hard time depending on how far they want to go on this map. It provides a challenge for everybody, which I absolutely love, but that's why it has to take the number 2 spot on this list. And now, guys, coming in at the number 1 spot, ladies and gentlemen, it has to be the Shadows of Evil Waterfront strat, or the 5 and 5 strat as it's also known as. Now, I don't know really what it is about this map, but and this strategy in particular, but I can't get enough of playing it. Like, it will never get boring to me. This is probably my favorite strategy to stream, because it's that perfect balance of, being intense enough that it keeps me interested and engaged at all times, but also I can still look at my chat while I play as well. So it's like literally perfect for that. And this is still always a challenge to any kind of zombie player, just because of, you can see just by this gameplay how cluttered this strategy really is. Now, the way you set up this map is you keep the waterfront door shut, as well as the door on the right that leads up to the top portion of the waterfront. You keep both of those gates closed, and then the zombie should be on the correct pathing. Now, in terms of weapons, I like to run the RK5 or Kuda with dead wire, and then a KRM or a haymaker with blast furnace, and then of course the Apothicon servant as your other weapon, as well as upgraded little Arnie's because they're pretty important too, and an upgraded sword. So you have kind of a lot at your armory, and you know, that you can use at all times, but it still doesn't give you any excuse to, you know, slack off during the strat, because you take your eyes off the screen for 1 second and you're probably down. This strategy is more about quick thinking and decision making than anything. ShanggriLa is all about timing. This is about quick decisions, because any sort of path can change in the blink of an eye, and you need to be able to adapt to it quickly, or else you are going to end up downing, guaranteed. But I absolutely love it. And like I said, I don't know what it is, but Shadows of Evil is probably my favorite map, and this has a big part to do with it. I love Shadows of Evil, I always will, and I'll always play this strategy whether it's on or off camera, just because it's too addicting, and I highly recommend you guys give it a try and see how well you can do with it. But anyways, guys, that is going to be the top 5 best high round strategies in my opinion anyway, ones that I love to run and I just enjoy quite a bit. But I want you guys to let me know in the comment section, what is your favorite high round strategy and what map is on? Please let me know in the comments. But anyways, if you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to drop a like on it. That would be amazing. Subscribe if you are new to this channel and have not done already. And other than that, guys, I will see you all on the next live stream or the next video. Peace out.